John was living what some might call the American dream. At 30, he was a successful salesman in a prominent tech company. He had a spacious house in the suburbs, a loving wife, and 2 beautiful children. However, despite this picture-perfect life, he felt a void inside him, an unshakable feeling of dissatisfaction. His work felt monotonous, and his days were defined by a mechanical routine that offered him no joy. A chance encounter at a local diner one day offered him a new perspective. He met an elderly man named Samuel, a retired military officer with an air of tranquility around him. Samuel's calmness and contentment, despite his advancing years and the wear and tear of wartime experiences, intrigued John. His curiosity piqued, John found himself drawn towards the older man, eagerly seeking his company. Their chance encounter turned into regular meetings filled with hearty conversations and life lessons. Samuel was a Stoic. He spoke of a philosophy that had guided him through life's ups and downs, through the turbulence of war and personal loss. He introduced John to the concept of Stoicism, explaining how he'd used its principles to navigate his trials. Samuel spoke passionately about the power of the mind and its role in our reaction to life's challenges. The idea that life wasn't about what happened to him, but how he responded to it, resonated deeply with John. He found himself hungry for this knowledge, this unique perspective that seemed to promise a sense of control and peace. Eager to delve deeper into Stoicism, John asked Samuel to teach him. Samuel agreed, but his methods were far from conventional. Instead of providing textbooks or lectures, he set out practical challenges for John, designed to shift his mindset and empower his thinking. The first challenge was to refrain from complaining for an entire week. This task seemed straightforward, yet John quickly realized how frequently he complained about trivial inconveniences like traffic, his job, and even the weather. As the week progressed, he found a significant shift in his attitude. He was less irritable, more patient, and found a lightness he hadn't felt in a long time. Next, Samuel asked John to identify 5 things he was grateful for every morning. Initially, John struggled with this task. He had spent so much time focusing on the negatives that spotting the positives took conscious effort. But as he persisted, he began to see his life from a new perspective. His high-pressure job became a source of livelihood. His morning traffic jams turned into his solitude time, and his busy schedule was a reflection of a life filled with love and responsibility. The following task was confronting a fear. John had always feared rejection, and the idea of it kept him from sharing his innovative ideas at work. Samuel challenged John to present a new marketing strategy to his team. The thought was terrifying, but John took the plunge. His idea was not only accepted but applauded. Facing his fear gave him a sense of accomplishment and confidence he had never known. Days turned into weeks, then into months, and each day brought a new challenge from Samuel. Each task nudged John out of his comfort zone, compelling him to introspect, question his beliefs, and embrace change. Through these challenges, John learned to control his reactions, find peace amidst chaos, and focus on the aspects of life he could control, while letting go of those he couldn't. After several months, the changes in John were profound. He still had the same job, lived in the same house, but his outlook on life had fundamentally shifted. He no longer felt like he was being swept along by the current of life. Instead, he was steering his own ship. His happiness stemmed from within, not from his external circumstances. His life was the same, but the way he lived it was unrecognizable. One day, Samuel didn't show up at the diner. After a few days, John found out that he had passed away peacefully. A profound sense of loss was coupled with deep gratitude. Samuel had passed on to him an invaluable gift, the gift of mental resilience. John continued practicing the Stoic philosophy, applying it in his daily life and sharing the wisdom he had learned. He became a source of motivation for his colleagues, friends, and family, influencing lives just as Samuel had influenced his. From the story of John and his journey of self-discovery, we can glean several lessons and insights. This story reveals that regardless of our circumstances, it's our reactions to those circumstances that truly matter. Stoicism teaches us the power of perspective, self-discipline, and inner peace. Many of us, like John, may find ourselves trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction, failing to see the potential for happiness and contentment within our current situation. We must remember that it's not the events of our life that distress us, but our interpretation of these events. Stoicism challenges us to shift our perspective and view life's obstacles as opportunities for growth. Practical application of these insights requires conscious effort. Here are a few tips on how to incorporate these lessons into your life. Firstly, try to spend a week without complaining about anything, big or small. Notice the shift in your mood and your outlook on life. When we stop complaining, we begin to break away from negative thinking patterns and cultivate a more positive mindset. Secondly, practice gratitude. Start each day by noting down 5 things you're grateful for. It might seem difficult at first, but with time you'll find yourself viewing your life through a lens of gratitude. This simple exercise can dramatically change your perspective and increase your overall sense of happiness and contentment. Lastly, face your fears. Identify something that scares you and confront it. Just like John did with his fear of rejection, facing our fears head-on can lead to incredible personal growth and build confidence. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Adopting these practices can bring about substantial positive changes in your life. They can help you develop resilience, find contentment, and empower your mind. Just like John, we all have the potential to steer our own ships, to cultivate inner happiness, and to become masters of our lives rather than victims of our circumstances. Thank you for listening to this story and engaging with its lessons. If you found it inspiring and want to hear more content like this, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, each one of us has the potential to transform our lives, to build mental resilience, and empower our minds. So, let's embark on this journey together. Stay tuned for more stories, more insights, and more inspiration. Let's walk this path of self-discovery and resilience together. See you in the next video.